Welcome back, everyone. Dustin here again, Average Guy Hi-Fi, with another overview video for you guys. So, again, sorry about the break there. The last video I did was just a kind of a brief room tour that I took a few weeks ago, right before I got rid of my KEF R3s. I had my R3s as LCR out there in my little living room system. So I've since replaced those. I bought kind of my dream speakers, but I'm going to start focusing back on what made this channel grow. And speaking of growth, it went about 8 months without making a video, and I kept getting subscribers. So I'm like, okay, there's something here. Let's just get back into it, focus on used gear, focus on really good budget deals, all of those type of things. And I think that's why this channel has a little bit of a niche and why so many people subscribe to the channel. So I'm back, basically. That's kind of my main point. I'm going to try to upload a video every other week. That's kind of my game plan. If deals pop up, I might do some a little bit sooner. But yeah, stay tuned because I'll be making definitely more videos. Also, I ended up changing my, for the people that have been following, I got rid of one of the categories. I have 5 categories that I review speakers off of previously. So I had one that was like my price paid and MSRP, and one of you guys subscribers like, yeah, the pricing is a little bit repetitive. So I went ahead and got rid of the MSRP, and then we'll just do my price paid and then give you guys the score of 1 to 10. So what we'll kind of jump right into here is a speaker that I've actually owned in the past. Many of you out there own this speaker as well too. I figured this was an excellent speaker for me to kind of get back into the schedule of reviewing these kind of older gear and used stuff. So what I have here are the Polk RTi A3 bookshelf speakers. Excellent quality bookshelf speakers. Right now, there's different lineups. These are previous. These were made like in 2007, but I think they made them all the way up until like 2021 from what I can tell. You could probably still even find them out there. The MSRP on these, as far as I can tell, was about $400 when they were released, and I ended up grabbing this set here for $130 on Facebook Marketplace. So, then you buy used gear. They were a little bit dirty, but I went ahead and kind of Windexed them, kind of cleaned them up a little bit, and actually they're pretty darn presentable, especially for only $130. You get real hard pressed to start getting this kind of sound out of speakers that are only that much money. Like new bookshelves can be quite expensive. Basically what this was, the RTi lineup, was very similar to the Klipsch reference. Not the new reference or the reference RP, but the original reference. So this kind of really fought hand in hand, like against the Klipsch RB61s, which I also owned. As you guys know, a little bit of a speakerhead. So I've owned kind of a bunch of different ones, but this was kind of right in the middle of the mainstream Polk lineup. They also had the LSIMs, and in this bookshelf series would have been the 703s. I made a video on those, so I've owned those as well. And right now, the direct kind of replacement for these in the Klipsch lineup would be the Reserve Polk R200s. And I also had those. As you guys know, I had those in white as well too. So kind of right in the middle of the lineup. Not super high end, not the low end either. Nicer crossovers, good cabinets, but doesn't have like a lot of the finishes and things like that. The LSIMs are just beautiful, kind of a piece of furniture. These are more like, hey, we're going to put a lot of resources into the quality of the speaker and make it so it sounds really good, but not a whole bunch on the flashy side of things. So really nice, good size speaker though. There you go. That's kind of a close-up of the grill. I've always liked the looks of these. Everybody likes the Klipsch copper cones, and I'm a fan of those too, but it's getting a little bit overwhelming online. Almost every, not a bad thing. If you're out there rocking the Klipsch copper, trust me, I did it for 20 years, I think. And certain ones I definitely like the look of. But I always like the look of these. A little bit more, I wouldn't say understated, because they do have like the silver trim and things like that that make them a little bit shined up, but definitely not as flashy as like the Klipsch reference. So the only kind of complaint I would say is just the kind of, I didn't like the silver on the grills. I always thought that they should just left if you're going to have the grill on, you want it to kind of blend in, and the silver just draw attention to it a little bit. But nice quality grill. It's got the plastic pegs in there. These ones are still intact. They're actually a nicer quality than like some of the Klipsch pegs back in the day that would always snap off. But this is basically a two-way speaker. And the dimensions are pretty good size. It's about 15 inches tall, it's about 8.5 inches wide, and it's about 14 inches deep. And kind of the real distinguishing thing about this lineup was it has a curved or kind of like a tapered cabinet. See that right there? That's the shape of it. You know, you got the nice binding post with the jumpers if you want to kind of bi-amp them. Has the Polk, kind of the signature power port. You can kind of look in behind there. This is, and the power port actually has a wall keyhole there, so you can mount it to a wall. And then it has these two bumpers right there, so the speaker can actually sit flat against the wall. Very unique design, though, compared to your just kind of traditional boxy speakers. But the reason I think it's most unique is that it's dual ported. So it has this front port as well, too, and then it also has the Polk power port in the back. And these things are basically get extremely loud for bookshelf speakers. The sensitivity is 89 dB. That's pretty standard. You know, there's a conversation going on about how Polk Klipsch measures their sensitivity. And these, I would say hang with them. I was running them right against my back there, the RB, my Klipsch Reference Premier 600Ms, and you know, I didn't notice a big drop off when I got everything kind of calibrated. Plenty of sensitivity, easy to drive for most amplifiers if you're not trying to fill a huge room. If you're trying to fill a huge room, you probably wouldn't want bookshelf speakers anyway. They're 8 ohms, and they this right here is a polymer composite 6.5-inch woofer, and then this up here is a polymer composite 1-inch dome silk tweeter. So that's kind of the rundown. Again, I think these things were kind of produced from about 2007, and then I think they added an S to the newer models, changed a little bit with the crossover, kind of gave it a little bit more refinement, like a lot of speaker manufacturers do. Like the Klipsch Reference went to the Reference 2s, you know, when they started changing like monster wire and upgraded crossovers, things like that. So, and again, this is right in the middle of the lineup. This would be a direct competitor to the Klipsch Reference Premier series, and then just a step below what the new series is, which would be the Legend, and the previous one was the LSIM. So that's kind of the overview of the speaker. Nice looking. Again, the trim seems decent and all that stuff. The build quality is good, but we'll go into that in the next section of the video. Okay, this is my favorite part of the videos, as you guys know, and I just mentioned I had 5 categories, but we eliminated MSRP now. So there's 4 categories. There's quality, there's sound, there's the aesthetics, and then my price paid. I felt like those kind of made the most sense for the people that would be watching these type of videos. And the reason I started this channel is just to kind of cater towards beginners, give you guys kind of my impressions on things. There's tons of excellent YouTubers out there that I follow because I've been doing this for almost 30 years, buying speakers, testing them out. But there's places like Aaron's Audio Corner. I'm a big Youthman fan. He's always showed me a lot of like support and things like that. And one of these days I'll fly to the conventions and things. But there's also like Cheap Audio Man. So these are people that I would suggest that you follow, especially Aaron's Audio Corner when it comes to before buying speakers. My overall impressions, sound is subjective, looks are subjective. A lot of this is very subjective, but he puts them on the Klippel and he actually measures them. So what the speakers would actually do. But people have different ears. You know, there's a majority, if somebody, 80% of the population likes the way that one speaker sounds, there's that still 20% that might like the way another speaker sounds. So again, there's still some subjectivity there as well too. So follow those guys too, by the way. So again, we go off these categories. It's 1 through 10. What I do is just kind of give you kind of my overall impressions, try to keep these videos fairly short. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to start putting in a movie that I recommend you guys watch to test out your systems. So from the quality perspective, nice solid cabinets. You know, you do the knock test, good sturdy build. The taper helps as well too. For structural, just makes it a little bit stronger. Also, and it's like multi-layered as well. So the binding posts are good quality. I like the trim rings and all this stuff around there. But the main highlight for a speaker like this, around $400 when it was released, is that that's actually wood veneer, which is really unusual. I mean, nowadays, I don't think you can get anything for $400 real wood veneer. Maybe you guys can correct me. But good quality, gave it an 8.5 when it comes to quality. Now, we come down to the sound of the speakers. So, again, sound is a little bit subjective, but these have the traditional kind of U-shaped frequency a little bit hot, a little bit sharp on the upper end, a little bit boosted on the lower end. The mid bass is the one thing that I think that there were some improvements with, and I definitely think they made those improvements with the R200. I like that speaker more than this one, even though this one is very good as well. If you weren't comparing them kind of side by side, audio memory is very short. So, but very fun speakers. If you put these things like in a garage, or if you put them in a home theater where you need the volumes and you need them kind of hit the peaks and things like that, they'll definitely do that. And they're not neutral. I wouldn't call them neutral. Fun is the word I'm going to use here, but I don't mean that in a negative way. Some people like the way that the Klipsch horns sound and things like that over the different generations. Some were sharper than others, but for a silk dome tweeter, this one definitely has a little bit. I don't want to call it. It's not like it doesn't sound good at the high end, but it can be a little bit fatiguing. That's the way I'll kind of sum that up. 8.5 when it comes to sound. Good sounding speakers. There's just more flat or neutral speakers out there, which I actually kind of prefer. The aesthetics, I gave it a 9. I like the fact that it's a tapered cabinet, not just for structural, but I think it looks cool too. It kind of minimizes the speaker footprint. So if it's going in like a living room or places like that, it'll be a little bit more acceptable, I would say. It doesn't have the bright colors, even though I like those as well too. I like the silver trim. I like the black look to it. 9 when it comes to looks. Good looking speaker, especially for the price point. My price paid, I gave them a 9 also. So $130. I probably could have bumped it up to a 9.5, but there is a little bit of an edge right there. There was some cosmetic things that I need to deal with, and then actually, what I kind of just show you here, a little trick of the trade for people buying used speakers, is that you can cover up a lot of this stuff just with this is not the right pen, it's not a Sharpie, but I usually just kind of try to cover these things up a little bit. It's hard to do in the camera here, and then wipe it off my finger, and it tends to kind of tone down those. So get a Sharpie, especially if you have black speakers. It's not professional. Some people out there go through the trouble of doing like nail polish. Gloss is really hard to do that with, but you can kind of fill those in. So very good deal on the speakers, good quality, good sound, all of that, and only $130. I gave them a 9. The condition just wasn't all that great. It looked like they had been just kind of sitting in a garage or something like that. I dusted them off though and kind of shined them all up, so they look good now. So price paid a 9. So you got an 8.5 for the quality, 8.5 for the sound, the aesthetics are a 9, and the price paid is a 9. That is a 35 out of 40, which is an 87.5 average guy HiFi score. So, I really had a fun time with these because it brought me back. I remember saving up for these things. At the time, I can't remember what my job was. I've only had a few jobs, but I think I was selling pool tables and or working in a warehouse. So those are 2 options there. And I remember kind of putting my money aside and saving up to buy these things. And when I did, I just loved them. Put them in like a little kind of theater. It was like a room, but put them in there and let them kind of rip. And they kept me happy for a little while anyway. But as you guys know, I'm swapping out stuff all the time. So great quality speakers. The new Reserve lineup from Polk is definitely a step up over these, just like these RPs were a step up over the original Cerametallic Klipsch lineup. So right in the middle, I kind of like that. Plus, as you guys know, I love speakers with 6.5-inch woofers. I almost feel like that's a sweet spot. All the Klipsch I've owned, things like that. If you got a subwoofer, getting an 8-inch woofers is nice just for crossing them over, makes it a little bit easier, things like that. But let the subwoofer do what they want to do. But 6.5-inch woofers, for me, the size of them, the amount of bass they produce, good amount of bass for these things as well, too. The front port and the rear port, they do like to be drug out into the room a little bit. But again, great speakers. 87.5, can't really go wrong. $130, try to find something else. $135 new. And again, that's the reason of this channel. Kind of help beginners out there, people on very limited budgets. You get my impressions. Go look on your used market right now. Maybe you can find them cheaper than me. And if you do, let me know. Let me know if you bought them. That's my favorite part when people put in there. It's like, hey, I found these on Craigslist and I bought them because of your video and I absolutely love them. Hey, that's perfect. It's not always going to work out that way. Sometimes what I like won't be what you like, but at least you have some information going in on these older speakers that nobody's really reviewing. So this is the last part of the video that I'm going to start incorporating of movies that I highly recommend that you either own if you're a collector like I am, or that you at least watch on your system. And the first one I'm going to do, there's no other for me, is the Tron on Blu-ray. This movie, the visuals, the sound, everything about it. My brother comes over. He's not really into home audio, but he kind of trusts me. we put that movie in as like a, hey, I got new speakers, come on over. He'll come on over, and I'll just try to show him a scene, but 45 minutes later we're watching the movie. Excellent bass. I mean, the visuals of it with the neon and all that stuff, that's one of the top of my list right there. That's in my top 5. But I'll start giving you guys pointers on what movies really shine when it comes to home theater and audio, things like that. So, okay, well, I'm back in the swing of things. I already bought the other speakers that I'm going to be reviewing. I have my dream speakers out there. No, they're not $100,000 speakers or anything like that, but these are well beyond what I wanted to spend or what I would ever thought spend on speakers. But I saved up, had a good year, purchased them, and now I'm kind of done when it comes to that. But one of these days I'll be able to kind of show you those. Oh, also, I picked up, this got delivered today, so I figured I might as well toss it in there. This is the Weem Pro streamer. So I have some Klipsch McLaren 9s that I got, so I'll be making a video on those. I'm getting rid of Bluetooth altogether, just much higher quality going with Wi-Fi. So this is just a basic streamer, and it's on Amazon. I think I picked it up for $150. So I'll probably make a video on this as well too. But go check out Cheap Audio Man, his reviews on these Weem streamers and DACs, because really, from everything he's told me, they're just excellent for the quality. So again, this is the stuff I'm into. I'm obviously a little bit of a nut. I got a lot of information up here when it comes to speakers I've owned and all of that. So I'm just trying to share it with you guys to help you save some money. Again, my name is Dustin. The name of the channel is Average Guy HiFi. So please subscribe or send me out there. I'm not making money on this channel. I usually lose money, but it's like a mental break for me. So I just enjoy making them. Hopefully you guys stick around.